Hello everyone and welcome to my GH Full channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The long-running ABC daytime drama General Hospital has once again piqued the interest of its devoted viewers with swirling rumors and intense speculation surrounding one of its key cast members, Katelyn MacMullen, who has played the complex and evolving character Willow Tait since her debut in October 2018. Fans have been buzzing about headlines like Katelyn MacMullen says goodbye, Willow's final scenes revealed, and wondering if she is truly leaving the show in 2026, especially as Willow's storyline takes darker, more unpredictable turns amid legal battles, personal betrayals, and shocking revelations. Willow Tait began her journey in Port Charles as a supposedly kind-hearted school teacher attending a bereavement support group where she met Michael Corinthos via shared pain. Her life has been anything but simple over the years, filled with hidden secrets about her past, including her connection to the now-defunct Dawn of Day cult led by Shiloh Archer, the loss of a child she thought was hers, and the eventual discovery that W.Y. Corinthos was the biological son she had given up. Switched at birth in a complicated scheme involving Nellie Benson and Brad Cooper. These early arcs established Willow as a sympathetic person, someone who had been through manipulation, loss, and heartache, yet always sought to do the right thing, frequently putting others ahead of herself in ways that attracted her to audiences. Willow's relationships grew deeper and more intricate with time. Her romance with Harrison Chase evolved into something genuine, only to be tested by a staged affair designed to keep W.Y. out of Nellie's hands. When Chase appeared to be dying, Willow married him out of sympathy, resulting in a complex web of emotions when he recovered and the truth was revealed. She eventually returned to Michael, and their relationship appeared to be a beacon of stability in the midst of so much turbulence. They welcomed a daughter, Amelia, and the family appeared to be stable for a while. However, fractures began to appear, worsened by external causes such as Nina Reeves, who was subsequently revealed to be Willow's biological mother, a bombshell that triggered layers of bitterness, forgiveness attempts, and new strife. Willow's fight with leukemia added another layer of sadness as she postponed treatment to safeguard her unborn child, demonstrating her devotion once more at significant personal risk. Through chemotherapy, bone marrow searches, and emotional lows, Katelyn MacMullen produced performances that underlined Willow's fragility and fortitude, winning her critical acclaim and Daytime Emmy nominations for Outstanding Younger Performer in a Drama Series. However, in the years leading up to 2026, Willow's character has suffered one of the most dramatic makeovers witnessed on canvas. The loss of custody of her children, W.Y. and Amelia, to Michael after a painful divorce and court battle represented a watershed moment. What began as calm destruction quickly turned into something considerably more combustible. Willow's mental state deteriorated, forcing her to make questionable judgments such as breaking into the Cordine estate and indulging in vengeful activities against others, such as following Daisy Gilmore. These actions portrayed her in a new light, one in which desperation and wrath replaced her previous kindness. Fans were startled as Willow's once soft demeanor hardened, reflecting that of her late twin sister, Nellie, a character infamous for manipulation and ruthlessness. This transition occurred gradually, fueled by isolation, perceived betrayals, and an increasing sense of powerlessness. Drew Cain's involvement, which began as a supporting figure, became toxic as their relationship progressed into an affair and eventual marriage, revealing levels of control and treachery. The Who Shot Drew mystery, which rocked Port Charles in September 2025, became the focus of the drama. Drew Cain, a legislator with political ambitions, was gunned, killed twice in the back on a rainy night, triggering weeks of conjecture and several suspects. Willow was revealed to be the shooter on January 8, 2026, which was a shocking revelation. In a flashback, viewers witnessed her pull the trigger, motivated by rage over her lost custody, Drew's manipulations, and the understanding that he had been isolating her for personal gain. Katelyn MacMullen has discussed the twist in interviews, expressing her initial surprise and joy at the direction. Willow described herself as being cornered with no other option, eventually realizing Drew's domineering influence. The actress stated that this moment allowed her to play a more resolute, conscious Willow, one who realizes her own power and acts without remorse or doubt. This darker Willow exudes a new energy, driven and unapologetic, a departure from her girl-next-door origins. Following the shooting reveal, Willow was arrested and subjected to a high-stakes trial which dominated early 2026 episodes. The courtroom scenes were intense with testimony, evidence, and emotional outbursts. Her lawyer, Alexis Davis, handled the case with caution, knowing Willow's culpability, but deciding not to reveal it too soon. The jury debated despite shock waves sweeping across Port Charles, with friends like Chase expressing support and Dean appalled by the revelations and Nina warning Drew. On January 16, 2026, Willow was found not guilty. This decision reverberated across the village, leaving some individuals conflicted, others startled, and the story far from concluded. The not guilty verdict allowed for additional investigation of Willow's mentality and future activities since she emerged from the trial transformed and perhaps more formidable. Throughout this tumultuous narrative, speculations of Katelyn MacMullen's departure have persisted, spurred by fan sites, YouTube videos, and speculative stories claiming Willow's final scenes or her leave in 2026. Some sites have produced pieces farewelling MacMullen's portrayal, emphasizing emotive fan reactions on social media. Messages of disbelief, sadness, and admiration for her work. Willow's complicated fate is frequently linked to speculation, including potential jail time, mental health commitments, and decreased screen time as a result of the trial's consequences. Earlier in 2025, similar concerns emerged when Willow's plot constrained her character, prompting fans to wonder if the show was writing her off. However, as of mid-January 2026, there has been no formal confirmation from the actress, the show, or ABC of a departure. MacMullen has expressed delight for the new Willow in recent interviews, thanking the difficult material and looking forward to future directions. She has hinted at continual metamorphosis, implying that the character would continue to push limits in exciting ways. This pattern of rumors is not new to General Hospital. The show thrives on suspense, and actor departures frequently generate chatter to heighten anticipation. MacMullen joins the cast in 2018 after pursuing acting in Los Angeles and studying nutritional science at the University of Nevada, Reno. Willow's theater background and commitment to authenticity have set her apart, transforming her from fragile to fierce. It's unclear whether the new narrative will result in a temporary exit, a recast, or simply more dramatic turns, but the program is still very invested in Willow's story. The not guilty decision opens up possibilities for atonement, vengeance, or reconciliation plot lines involving Michael, Drew, Nina, and others. Fans are still divided. Some mourn the loss of the old Willow, while others welcome the edgier version MacMullen now portrays. Willow's story exemplifies the soap's trademark of tenacity in the face of adversity. Characters rarely remain static. They change, break, and occasionally rebuild. Katelyn MacMullen's acting has carried Willow through leukemia struggles, familial revelations, sexual entanglements, and now criminal charges, earning accolades for nuance and depth. The conjecture surrounding her departure adds an extra dimension of intrigue, keeping people interested on a daily basis. Whether 2026 offers a meaningful departure, a surprising twist, or ongoing progress, Willow Tait stays at the heart of General Hospital's emotional core. The show's writers have previously shocked audiences, and with MacMullen at the lead, whatever happens next promises to be interesting. For the time being, the door remains open, and the drama in Port Charles plays out episode by episode. The lights within General Hospital always looked harsher at these moments, as if the walls knew when it was time to say goodbye. Willow stood near the nurse's station, her hands folded casually in front of her, taking in the steady rhythm of the hospital around her. Monitors beeped. Stretchers rolled by, even when hers seemed to be silently collapsing. Life continued on. For weeks, there had been whispers, soft at first, then louder and impossible to ignore. Willow sensed it long before anyone said anything out loud. You did not spend years in Port Charles without learning how to read signs. Long pauses during conversations. People glanced at her as if they were trying to memorize her face. The sudden urgency and unfinished business. It wasn't just another crisis. This felt final. When she heard her name, she exhaled slowly and turned around. Willow. Michael's voice was cautious, as if he was concerned that if he spoke too loudly, something precious between them would fracture. He reminded her of the first man she fell in love with. He was protective, genuine, and carried the weight of the world on his shoulders, even when he didn't have to. "Hey," she replied quietly with a little smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You look like you haven't slept." Michael exhaled, scratching the back of his neck. "Funny, I was about to say the same thing about you." They remained there for a time, neither fully prepared to utter what they both knew was coming. Their history hung between them like a living thing. With every argument, reconciliation, and promise murmured in the dark when they thought love would suffice. Willow finally broke the stillness. "I talked to the doctors," she said. "All of them?" Michael tensed. And they confirmed what we already knew." Her voice remained steady, but her hands clenched tighter. "There is nothing left to try. Not here." Even though the words were not new, they had a strong impact. Michael had battled this fact at every point, refusing to believe that Port Charles, this town that had given and taken so much, would soon lose Willow for good. "There has to be something," he argued. A familiar sense of desperation setting in. "A trial, a specialist." "Michael," she interjected gently. "Stop." He took a good look at her and noticed the calm resolution in her eyes. This was not fear. This represented acceptance. "I'm tired," Willow added. "Not only physically. I'm tired of resisting something that keeps ripping bits of me away. I don't want my last memories to be hospital rooms and whispered arguments in halls." Tears welled up in his eyes. And this time, he didn't try to hide them. "Well, what are you saying?" "I'm saying I want to decide how this ends," she explained. "And where?" The weight of that sentence pressed down on both of them, choosing the way it ends. Willow didn't want to give up. She wanted to take control of the one thing she could still do. Word spread swiftly in Port Charles as it always does. Sasha found out first, watching Willow packing up her locker at the hospital with unusual finality. "Why are you cleaning it out?" Sasha inquired, her face furrowed. "You're not transferring shifts, right?" Willow paused, placing her palm on a folded sweatshirt. "No, I'm leaving." Sasha laughed nervously. "Where are you leaving?" "Port Charles," Willow responded. "For good," Sasha's smile faded. "What?" They sat there in the empty break room, the sound of the vending machine breaking the silence while Willow described everything. The diagnosis, the decision, and the timing. Sasha listened while tears streamed down her face. "You can't just go," Sasha said quietly. "This is your home," Willow said, her voice. "That's why this is so hard." Na got the news across town in the worst way possible. Overheard at the Metro Court. She stopped mid-step, her heart pounding as she comprehended the words. "Willow. Leaving final scenes? No, not again. Not after all they've gone through." She approached Willow later that day, her emotions overflowing from the moment she walked through the door. "You don't get to do this without telling me," Na cried, her voice shaking with rage and dread. "You don't get to disappear," Willow fixed her gaze. "I wasn't about to disappear. I was about to say goodbye." "That is not the same thing," Na responded. "You are my daughter. I've already lost you once." The room was filled with unresolved tension. Years of sorrow and misunderstanding, simmering beneath the surface. For a long time, they tried to find common ground. Their relationship being tested by secrets and betrayals. "I know I haven't been the best mother," Na said, her voice quivering. Willow's eyes softened as she said, "But please don't shut me out now." "I am not shutting you out. I need peace, Mom. I need time that is not limited by hospitals, therapies, or dread." Na gulped hard and nodded slowly. "Let me be a part of that moment." That night, Willow sat alone in the Cameine estate, gazing out over the darkening grounds. This house had served as both a sanctuary and a battleground. It included memories of laughter, love, and sadness. Leaving it behind seemed like closing a chapter that she wasn't ready to let go of. Michael discovered her there with a blanket around her shoulders. "They're all asking about you," he explained quietly. "The kids, the family, everyone's scared." "So am I," Willow acknowledged, barely audible. "But I'm more afraid of staying." He sat next to her, wrapping his arm across her shoulders. "Where would you go?" She paused. "Someplace quiet. Somewhere warm. Somewhere that isn't full of ghosts." Michael nodded slowly. "I'll go with you." She looked at him, surprised. "Michael, I'm serious," he replied. "Wherever you go, I'll be there. I'm not going to let you do this by yourself." She leaned into him, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I don't want you to give up your life for me." "You are my life," he simply said. The final days at Port Charles were like a kaleidoscope of recollections. Willow went to the hospital one last time to say farewell to coworkers who had become family. She spent quiet moments with friends, deep chats that felt both therapeutic and painful. At Kelly's, she met Chase, their shared history hanging uneasily between them. There were no hard feelings left, only understanding. "I'm glad you found happiness," he informed her, his tone genuine. "Even if it didn't look like what we had planned." "So am I," Willow said. "And I'm glad you're okay." She stood on the docks with Carly, the woman who had alternately been her strongest protector and biggest nemesis. "You're stronger than you think," Carly replied, her eyes bright. "Don't forget that," Willow assured. Her final scenes at General Hospital were calm and subtle. There is no catastrophic collapse, no last-minute miracles. Willow walks through the doors one more time, pausing to reflect on the location where she battled so hard to save others while also struggling to save herself. As she stepped outdoors, the sun sank low on the horizon, bathing the city in warm gold. Michael waited by the car, their children safely inside, oblivious of the gravity of what this goodbye signified. "Ready?" he inquired kindly. Willow took one final look at Port Charles, the place that had shaped, tested, and loved her in its own complex manner. "Yes," she answered. "I am." Behind the scenes, the decision was pivotal. Katelyn MacMullen's departure in 2026 would leave a significant gap, reverberating through storylines and relationships. Willow's exit was more than just leaving town. It was about redefining legacy. Her journey has always been about perseverance, compassion, and choosing love in the face of unimaginable sorrow. Willow closed her eyes and rested her head on the seat as the car moved away. Whatever was ahead, it would be on her terms, and for the first time in a long time, that felt adequate. Port Charles would carry on. Stories always did. But somewhere outside its limits, Willow's narrative came to a calm end. Not in tragedy, but in grace. The reaction from the audience was swift and powerful. Within minutes of the episode's premiere, fans began revisiting Willow's final scenes, looking for hidden significance in every gaze, pause, and incomplete sentence. It was more than just saying farewell to a character. It seemed like the end of an era. Longtime followers who had witnessed Willow's transformation from a frail, insecure young woman to a stable, emotional anchor for so many others were devastated by her passing. Willow's leaving was riveting because of its restraint. There were no over-the-top twists, no unexpected cures or dramatic last-minute rescues. Instead, the plot relied on the audience to bear with the pain. Viewers were taken in by Willow's honesty. The way she chose serenity over chaos, agency over interminable misery. It was heartbreakingly authentic, and that realism made it unforgettable. Many people remarked on how carefully the writers handled Willow's relationships in her final days. Every goodbye seemed deserved. The peaceful scene with Sasha struck a chord with viewers, particularly those who valued female friendships free of rivalry and betrayal. Their sobbing hug in the hospital break room became one of the most popular videos online, with people appreciating its raw sisterly spirit. The delicate relationship between Willow and Nina also took center stage. Viewers who had previously been separated by their turbulent history found themselves together in mourning. Na's desperation along with genuine love struck a chord. For many, it felt like closure, imperfect, painful, but genuine. Na's unprompted call to Willow as my daughter was brief, but impactful. Michael's role in Willow's last arc was undoubtedly one of his most successful tales to date. Fans were extremely moved by his decision to support her without attempting to fix her choice. Instead of opposing her autonomy, he valued it, and this maturity enriched their love story. Viewers hailed their final encounters as quietly devastating, praising their chemistry and emotional depth, which made every shared look feel loaded with significance. What genuinely captivated moviegoers was the notion that Willow's journey would not end in misery. Even when she exited Port Charles, there was light in her final moments. The bright sunset, the children sleeping in the back seat, the lack of dramatic music. These choices reframed the departure as an act of bravery, not defeat. Fans enjoyed that the show gave Willow dignity, which is not something every retiring character receives. Speculation also erupted over what Willow's departure might imply for those left behind. Viewers predicted ripple consequences such as Michael trying to adjust to life without Willow, Nina unraveling under the weight of another loss, and the Tait-Caine family slowly splitting in the absence of Willow's calming presence. Her disappearance cast a huge shadow over future storylines, which only increased public interest. By the end of the program, several viewers realized they weren't only upset, but grateful. "I'm grateful for a tale that prioritized emotion above spectacle. We're grateful for Katelyn MacMullen's nuanced portrayal, which carried Willow's final chapter with grace and restraint, and happy for a goodbye that did not offend the audience's intelligence or feelings." Willow's last scenes did not call for attention. They whispered, and that made it impossible to forget.